With the launch of the Realme X comes the question of how it stacks up to the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Well, let's analyze that and see what the differences between these two budget powerhouses are in today's video. Guys, before all that, what's your preference? Let me know with a small little hashtag Realme X or hashtag Redmi Note 7 Pro in the comments below. And if you do end up liking what you see in this video, don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. My name's Ash and you're watching C4 Retech. Now with regards to build, by this point I'm sure everyone knows what we get with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Gorilla Glass to the front and back with plastic in between. It looks good, it feels good in hand. Now the Realme X, it also looks good. It in fact looks a tiny little bit better because it's got a better looking gradient. At least in my opinion, it even gets that S line going for it, but it is plastic, so it doesn't feel as good. It's not as durable. It kinda should be picking up scratches faster. And another thing that Redmi has going for it is the fact that the Note 7 Pro has an overall smaller form factor. There is reason for this though. The Realme X sports a larger display, 6.53 inches. Now this is an Amoled panel. It is all screen, does not have a notch like with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. And how Realme has managed to achieve this is by going with a pop-up camera. Now before we talk about that, this display itself, it's vibrant, it's punchy, the blacks are deep, it's an excellent panel. I would rate it a little over the LCD panel found on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. I kinda like the AMOLED panels, and this uninterrupted panel on the Realme X is a pleasure to look at. Now coming to that pop-up camera, it's the same one found on the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's a Sony IMX 471 sensor, 16 megapixels f2.0, and it produced pleasing results. The Note 7 Pro does not have a bad display. It still has a 6.3-inch IPS LCD display, which is quite good, and it has a rear fingerprint scanner, which is again quite fast and accurate. Now, the Note 7 Pro has its own set of advantages. It has an IR blaster that the Realme X doesn't have, and more importantly, the Note 7 Pro has support for microSD in the form of a hybrid slot. The Realme X sadly only has support for dual SIMs and has no support for microSD whatsoever. Next, let's move on to what's underneath the hood. Here the Redmi Note 7 Pro has the Snapdragon 675 chip, whereas the Realme X, just like the Realme 3 Pro before it, has the Snapdragon 710. And given that the internals haven't really changed since the Realme 3 Pro versus the Redmi Note 7 Pro, here's what I had to say in that full comparison video. Let's cut to that. Here we have the Snapdragon 675 on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, Snapdragon 710 on the Realme 3 Pro. On paper, the Snapdragon 675 has the stronger CPU, while the Snapdragon 710 has the stronger GPU. But in practice, the 710 seems to outperform the 675 in almost everything but synthetic benchmarks. Now don't get me wrong, both would do well for day-to-day use, but the 710 is going to be a little bit snappier for day-to-day tasks, and especially for gaming. You know, the more powerful Adreno 616, it's going to have a larger advantage. So with regards to internals, this one, it's going to be a win for the Realme 3 Pro. And that still holds good here. Now with the internals done, let's move on to battery. The Note 7 Pro has a 4000 mAh battery. The Realme X, on the other hand, has actually taken a 10% hit in battery capacity from the Realme 3 Pro. It now has a 3765 mAh battery. Taking into account the larger screen size and going by track record, I expect the Redmi Note 7 Pro to perform better with regards to battery life. It is worth noting that there is a VOOC 3.0 charger included in the box, so the Realme X should charge faster. And next, we get to software. The Realme X is running on ColorOS 6, while the Redmi Note 7 Pro is running on MIUI 10. Both are built on top of Android 9 Pie. Now both these are custom interfaces that are quite far from stock Android, and they both come with their own sets of pros and cons. They have a lot of functionality built into them. They are quite fast and snappy, and you can either love them or hate them. It's totally up to user preference. Now that said, given the strong hardware underneath, both of them do get the job done. There is only one major difference here. MIUI is ad supported, whereas ColorOS isn't, at least not as of today. Now as for cameras, both phones have dual camera setups to the back. There are depth sensors, and then there are primary sensors. The primary sensor is the same here, Sony IMX 586. It's the 48 megapixel sensor. The lens that's coupled with is a little different. It's a f1.8 on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. It's a f1.7 on the Realme X. So I don't have any comparative samples here because I've not gotten my hands on a review unit of the Realme X yet. I should be getting my hands on one soon. Once I do, I will have an in-depth comparison of both, and I will get you guys comparative samples then. So as of now, this is something I kind of feel that the Realme X might perform a little better, but the Redmi Note 7 Pro has been really strong in this segment, so I'm just not gonna take a guess at this point. So this is the difference for now. Let's get to it once I manage to get my hands on a review unit. So next, let's move on to the pricing. As far as pricing goes, this is all the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The Note 7 Pro, it's priced at 13,999 in India. The Realme X, it starts at 1499 yuan, which technically converts to 15,400 rupees, but realistically, we are only expecting it to start at about 17,000 rupees in India. Now, this gives Redmi a 3,000 rupee advantage. So as far as value for money or price to performance goes, Redmi should still have an advantage. And of course, the Redmi Note 7 Pro is currently being sold, whereas the Realme X is expected to launch in India in upcoming weeks. So these are basically the differences between these two phones. So what do you guys think about these two? Which one do you think is the better phone? Which one are you more excited for? Let me know in the comments below. And once I get my hands on the Realme X, which should be really soon, do let me know what videos you'd like to see about it. What kind of comparison videos do you want to see? A speed test, a camera comparison, and of course a full comparison. I will get that done. What else do you want to see? Let me know in the comments below and I will try to get that done. So I guess that's pretty much it for this little differences video. Loved it, hated it, whatever you felt about it, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down based on that. And also hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon so that you don't miss out on all the Realme X coverage and all the other coverage that I would be bringing your way pretty soon. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.